Wow, my hair's weird. So I don't need to look at the chat on there yet. Unless we actually do gaming or something. I don't know. So, uh, hey. Right, yep, I don't know. I do not. I cannot tell you. Can he tell you what the plan is? I was supposed to be doing a live stream yesterday and I didn't. Why is my hair being kind of like party in one side? I had a shower right before bed yesterday, and of course, just fucks with my hair. I do need a haircut. Unfortunately, it's like that. There's like a time of year, like after September, I try not to do any like cutting of any of my hair. It's just kind of like a weird tradition thing that I started doing like a couple of years ago. I know, fascinating stuff, really is. I have made no progress in anything. So I was just seeing if the light was flashing because then I have to charge it up or switch to the other light. Anyway, yeah, I've not really made any progress on anything. I've made I mean, I filled a couple of people's requests on the video generation, AI video generation stuff. But apart from that, it's like, yep. Um, Thinking about like charging people for that, like seriously charging people for that, because it does take up a lot of time. And it's costing me monies. I don't know. How's everybody else? What's everybody else been up to? I've grown my beard for like 2 years almost, and it's quite long, but it's just that it doesn't seem to get really like much bigger than this. You know, the whole split ends thing, and then it just stops it growing. I don't know. It's kind of lame considering that I was going for like a big Vikingy beard kind of like look. I keep getting random advice from random people. But yeah, it's weird because Ice Pup, like I've seen pictures of Ice Pup, my buddy in Iceland, and I mean he's a lot younger, like in his 20s, but I've seen him with a beard, like a year old beard, and it's quite long, and it looks just like his head hair. And I'm like, how do you do that? How does that work? And he says that, well, I just look after it and kind of like it just does that. And I'm like, but that's why is my beard hair so different from my head hair? I know it's just probably a weird, quirky genetics thing, but I don't know. It kind of bugs me. I guess I don't know. It just kind of bugs me because my head hair is very much like my beard hair, but it's not the same. You know, it's too curly. Like my head hair, it's getting to the stage where it will start to do it, but it's actually like it is also curly. Like it's big curls. Oh my god. I've had this cough all day and my nose keeps running. I really hope I'm not getting sick again. That would suck so much. Yeah, my head hair basically it does go curly. It's just that it's like the curls are like this big, you know. So it needs to be long enough for it to actually do the curly thing. Whereas my beard hair, the curls are like really like small, like around about I don't know 8 millimeters, kind of small, which means that it gets tangled up with itself. I've seen a picture of you. Like I'm sure if you basically like let it grow out, it, everybody basically every guy basically can grow a beard. It's just that it usually takes longer for some people. Like I don't want to make emasculate anybody here, but like it depends. It's one of those like things that's kind of like your testosterone levels and stuff. Like if you've currently got high testosterone, then that can help with like facial hair growth and stuff. But if you've got not so great testosterone levels, then like you can get like a thing where it does grow. It takes a while to for it to actually grow. So you have to wait for it to even out. But yeah, a lot of people basically don't have really the patience to kind of like wait a few months for their beard to grow in properly. And like I get it, I do, but it's like it's one of those things. However, I do not understand. Yeah, I don't understand the whole why my beard hair just doesn't look as nice and cool as my head hair. You know, like I have very thick, luscious head hair. You know, but it's like the beard is just it's thick. It's just that it's not very kind of like it's not as wavy and luscious and big curly. You know, it's little curly and tangly. But yeah, so I'm talking about nothing because I'm kind of just like just vamping. I guess I don't know. I did have a brainwave, but it's one of those things of like, ooh, I really want to try this out and I really want to do this, but I can't do this because I like the person I want to do this with is like not in a position where he can do this with, and it's really annoying. It's basically just a YouTube channel idea kind of thing. It's like, oh, so cool. It's kind of like like me and Ice Pup were gonna have like a hiking channel, but he basically had a family emergency and he had to use all of his money to kind of like move back to move back with his family. And it's a whole personal situation. I'm not going to go into it, but basically, it's like that was this close to actually happening, and it's like, oh my god, I get to have like a year of hiking in Iceland with like professional camera equipment and stuff, and it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. But you know me, things don't work out for me, so yeah, can't do that. I've got a split nail on this finger. It's like not going to be in frame. Oh, you can kind of see it. It's like lit up. Oh, it's so frustrating. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just that it keeps getting caught on stuff. It's really annoying. Hey, Panafox. See, I'm here if anybody wants to talk about anything, or like, if you want to try to play the game or something. I had some free time. I was yesterday, on Thursdays. Me and Itchy basically, we talk. We talk. We talk and we watch Star Trek because he wants to watch all of Star Trek. But the problem is that like it's only on Thursdays. It's kind of like taking the place of my therapist's time instead. My therapist, she's doing something else. Like, honestly, I can't remember what she's doing. It's work related, but basically she's doing some like work on her actual career as opposed to, just the studying of the me. And that's completely fine, and I totally get it. She was like super sweet about it and was like, I can actually get you another therapist to cover for me and stuff like that. I was like, will I have to pay them? It's like, well, and I was like, I don't. Don't worry about it. So yeah, on Thursdays now, I instead of like talking to her, I'm talking to Itchy. Well, I'm not talking to Itchy. Like I said, we're watching Star Trek. But yesterday, um, we only watched one episode. We're supposed to watch at least two episodes so that we can try to get through all of Star Trek, which is almost impossible because there's so much Star Trek. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of episodes of Star Trek. So yeah. Let me think. Let me try to work this out actually. There's like 24 episodes per season um of the Next Generation, and there are 7 seasons, and there is again 24 episodes per season for Next Generation, for Deep Space Nine, and there are 7 seasons of that. There's also 7 seasons of Voyager, and then 24 episodes per season for that. So yeah, there are at least like quick math is stupid. Because I keep forgetting the numbers, like a number in the equation, and it's like, oh shit, no, I've got to remember that one. Is it one? No, it's three. See what I mean? So it's like 24 times 7, and then it's 24 times 7 times 3. No. And that's just the big main three. We've got the original series, which is like, I think that's 20 episodes per season, and that's 3 seasons. There's only 3 seasons of the original series. It's weird. There's is there 2 or 3 seasons of the animated series, the original animated series? Like, there's that. Then there's like 7 episodes per season of um, Strange New Worlds. I'm not counting Discovery. But we are not watching Discovery. There's 5 seasons. Is there 4 or 5 seasons of Enterprise? I think that's like 20 episodes or something per season. Um, there's Lower Decks. There's Lower Decks as well. I'm okay with changing the subject. I swear to God, I am just talking for the sake of talking. Yeah. I know you can't tell because of the lighting, but like ever since I've been better, well, you know, healthy again, I've had like spots, like randomly broken out in spots. I've got like really oily, well, it feels like I've got really oily skin. I don't really have oily skin, but Jesus. I can't believe we only got 4 seasons of Lower Decks. It was so good. Isn't it 5? Did we get 5? I feel like we got 5. I could be wrong. Thank you. God, I was like, my files are incorrect in my brain head. Jesus. But yeah, it wasn't so good. It was okay. I enjoyed it. Just in general, I enjoyed it. But I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it was so good. You know, like it was funny. It was enjoyable. That's kind of like that's the level I'm at. You know, I feel like they name dropped a lot. I know that's because it's a TV show, but it's just that if it was a little bit more realistic, then they would have like name dropped people that we haven't heard about, but like, and then they could explain who they're talking about, but they kept name dropping, people that have been on TV series, and it's like, yeah, I know, I kind of don't care because like yeah, that's just a reference that we happen to know because we've seen it. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? I know it's kind of like a plot point. It's there's a whole plot point, and sorry, spoilers for Discovery, but have you noticed how nobody gives a shit about Discovery? Like in all the callbacks, in all the references and stuff like that. Like it's the spin-off to Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's mentioned twice in the whole show so far. It's been mentioned twice. It's hilarious. Sorry, it's just because I hate Discovery so much. It's like, oh, I'm really hoping that like the new series, the the Starfleet Academy series, which I am gonna have to watch. I'm gonna have to watch that because Paul Giamatti's in it and Robert Picardo's in it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. I don't want to. I really don't. It's very self-contained. Thank God, no loose ends to care about. You mean? Do you mean Discovery? The whole reason, and again, spoilers for Discovery. The whole plot point for why we don't hear about references to Discovery and stuff is because Discovery was um, a top secret ship doing top secret stuff, and then it super duper had to be kept top secret when it went into the future. That's the whole reason. Like, it's basically been expunged from Starfleet records and stuff, and it's like, thank you, but also the damage was done. It damaged Star Trek so heavily. In my opinion, and and for like not the reasons why people think, it's always because of actual logical reasons and stuff. It's there's also the reason that I have problems with a lot of Star Trek. It's just that Discovery seemed to contain all of the fucking problems that I had with Star Trek. So yeah, it was so uncool. I could talk about how I hate Discovery for so long. I'm okay with doing this. I am, but yeah. But anyway, in the lower decks, they very rarely talk about other people. They very rarely reference other things that happen in Starfleet and in Star Trek. They only reference things that have happened on other shows. Stop. On other shows of Star Trek, and that's kind of cool. I do like how there seems to be one per almost one per season of Strange New of Lower Decks. There's a bunch of the Next Generation references in like the first season. In Is it the second or the third season where we had Voyager or something? Then there's like another season where they do a bunch of the original series kind of stuff, including a big crossover, which was cool. Although that was a Strange New Worlds episode, technically. So yeah. Hey Dave. Um but yeah, oh, they had a Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine was in season 2. So yeah, there was like a whole big thing to do with Deep Space Nine. And then wasn't it season 3 that had the Voyager one? Voyager was in season 3. Like Voyager herself was in season 3. I really don't like. I really don't like the comments that the Vulcan made. Is it Talan? I can't remember her name. I really like her character as well. There's a lot of characters that I actually like in the Lower Decks. There's a lot of really good favorites. I've got like a few favorite characters in the Lower Decks. Like well, I'm trying to think of who I don't like. I kind of don't like the captain. She shows like some real poor judgment all the time, and that bugs me because she's a captain. You know, she's it's incredibly emotional calls that she makes as well, which is like, I know it's a cartoon, I know it's for comedy, but it does wind me up a little bit. Um, and isn't it Mariner? She's supposed to be like the main character. I kind of don't like her at all. Only because she basically she doesn't take it seriously. And again, I know it's a cartoon, it's comedy, but but yeah, it's just like there's it's just not. She doesn't take anything seriously, and that winds me up like a lot. You know, I mean, for fuck's sake, she told Q to go away because they were dealing with something else. It's like she told that to Q. Like, no, even then, she just continues to not take anything seriously. I don't see a big change here. She just seems to continuously take nothing seriously. And again, that's like, again, I know it's because it's the cartoon like medium of the show. It's like I get it, but it does wind me up. That kind of winds me up about the show in general. But it's at least all the other characters seem to kind of like take their jobs seriously, you know, and that's a thing. And again, I know it's that like that's part of her character arc and everything, but it seems to just be over the top ridiculous at some point. And yeah. Oh, I also don't like that there's like bunks that people sleep on shelves. I don't think that's a thing. And that's kind of the big premise of the show. And it's like, no, no. Like even the crewmen get their own quarters. You know, even crewmen get their own quarters. Like ensigns share quarters, and like you know, like even lieutenants share quarters. It's just like it's dumb. It's crazy that they are in shelves in a corridor. That's a no. That's just a no. You know, it's annoying. I guess I wouldn't mind so much if it was kind of like if they were crewmen and that the like it was almost like a dormitory hall kind of situation where they're kind of like they are hallways with bunks, but like it's designated as a hallway. They seem to just be a corridor. That just seems to be a corridor that they have their bunks in, and I hate that. I hate that so much. Like even I mean we see crewmen's quarters, we see ensign's quarters, and stuff like that. On the in the movie Undiscovered Country, we actually see the crewmen's quarters. You know where the crewmen's bunks are and stuff like that, and they are bunks. They're bunks in a room. So yeah, we know on Voyager, like so similar time period, we know on Voyager that they actually have got ensigns in quarters. The ensigns just have shared quarters. When we know this, you know, crewmen have their own quarters that they have to share. Yeah, it's just silly to me. To me, it's silly. But yeah, it's just that the whole bug thing. It's silly. Like in my own head canon, they're not in a they're not they are in a kind of like a hall, you know, a dormitory hall situation, and I don't see that as a hallway, you know, like an actual corridor. So yeah, is anyone actually listening to me right now? Yeah, but yes, I mean, I like the Doctor. Like I would say that she is my favorite character out of on the lower decks. I do really like that. I love her so much. kinda. There's a lot of thing on Star Trek that is like that. This was a premise. There was a premise, okay. The reason why I have my regular channel, my regular, like not berry related content channel and stuff like that. Why? Yeah, uh, yeah. My straight channel, my regular, everybody content, kind of anybody can watch it content. Um, channel was about Star Trek. Well, was going to be about sci-fi stuff in general, and it was basically me explaining how science fiction and how how things in science fiction work. And one of my like alter ego characters was going to be a guy that like was left behind, like he was in Starfleet, but he was left behind during first contact. Like he jerry-rigged his escape pod to actually kind of like fly back up to the ship, but it didn't make it, so it got caught in the temporal vortex and ended up on Earth, just a bit further back in time. He had a whole backstory. See what I mean? And like his whole thing was that he was a guy that was gonna who was always there in the background, like telling people it's like that's stupid. Why would the bridge crew want us to do this? He was an engineer that was kind of like was like, well, why don't we just beam all those people up? We could have done that. Basically pointing out like the plot holes and stuff in things. So yeah, I I almost wanted to resurrect this whole idea because I was watching Strange New Worlds, and there's an episode in Strange New Worlds, semi spoilers. I'm not going to reveal too much information, I don't think, but there's an episode in Strange New Worlds where they like a ship kind of ruptures, it disintegrates, and they basically like are saying it's like how many people are how many life signs are you detecting? And it's like it's a big number, and then like somebody says like all fading, and it's like do something. But no, it's like sad music plays, we all watch them die, that we all watch the characters watching them die on the view screen, just floating in space, and you're like tractor beam, transporters, there's like so many options to save them. But no, like the life signs all fade until they go away. And because I know how like spaceships are supposed to work and stuff, like they could have just explained this as like our tractor beam's offline, our transporters are inoperable and stuff like that. But we know that these things work. And even then, There's shuttles. You can save people that are in space. Being in space isn't super deadly, unless you're out there for more than a couple of minutes. You're basically like you're kind of well preserved. You can be revived. It's not a death sentence, and yet basically, it's if you basically don't let them back in. But Jesus Christ, this was a big deal. They just watch them. It's just so annoying. But yeah, that actually got me so annoyed to the point where I just wanted to just redo that channel again. You know, like turn on the escape pod, the escape pod 42, like turn that back on again. But yeah. So yeah, like I can point out things in almost every episode of Star Trek in which they could have done things way better. But the point is, it wouldn't make good TV, and I get that. But it is still annoying when you can actually maybe sometimes improve a story by doing something, Ugh. Like so many times. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember something. That's like that's what it was. So in Star Trek Generations, I know that nobody's going to give a crap about this, but this this something's always bugged me that I just wanted. I just wanted to to point out. I wanted this to be kind of like known, to be a thing. I've only really figured it out recently. Star Trek Generations is one of my favorite of the Star Trek movies. It's like it's super cool, but there's been something off about it, and everyone's like giving me their whole reasons for why they don't like it, but they don't like it for theatrical reasons, And that's normally not why I don't like something. I don't like something because there's like a logical problem or a mechanical problem that really pisses me off or bugs me. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong because everything in that movie is kind of scientifically kind of sound-ish. All of the mechanics of how everything works in Star Trek Generations is logical and works really good. And there's some really cool scenes and really cool practical effects. Like, so I thought the light was fading, but it's not yet. Just before it goes off, it kind of dims a little bit. So yeah, um, yeah, like the ship separates because there's something wrong with the warp core, and then it flies down onto a planet. It kind of semi crash lands onto a planet. It's kind of designed to do this, but they make it into a big deal because they have to, because it's more theatrical and crazy that way. Even though it would have been just as theatrical and crazy if they basically just like let it fall down. But that's all fine. The whole reason why the stabilizers are offline and why thrusters are damaged and stuff like that, like, yeah, I totally get that. It makes sense. That's all logical and clever. Um, and it does add drama, I guess. But the whole thing, like when it's actually on the planet, we get to see it later. We actually get to see it later. It's on the planet, and I kept thinking, it's like, well, they're stranded. They're stranded on that planet. They have to wait for rescue. I mean, it's like they're fucked. Basically, like they have to they they have to wait for Starfleet to come pick them up in a ship or whatever. And, you know, again, I know I'm spoiling generations for people, but they don't really understand why all of these things happen. We actually see a shockwave destroy the planet that they've crash landed on. Like, like a shockwave actually like envelops part of the planet, and then it sweeps over the planet, and then we get to see the saucer section of the Enterprise D with the big shockwave coming towards it, and it blows it up. It tears through the ship and all the little people that are standing on top of it. Like the shockwave destroys them, and I'm like, that is horrifying, and it's bugged me. Something about this has bugged me, and I only just figured it out. I only figured it out like the other day when I was kind of like kind of replaying it in my head. Um, they can escape. They aren't stuck on that planet. They aren't trapped. They can get off that planet very easily, very quickly, in fact, incredibly quickly. They can escape. I'm wondering if anybody's going to try to guess how. Because once I figured it out, I was like, "Oh my god, that's so obvious! Of course, like I'm such a dipshit. I'm such a dipshit." I wonder if I can actually do it on stream, like here now. So it keeps showing me the shockwave from the other. Okay, I think I found it. Oh, adverts. Right. Wait, what the fuck? Right, I'm trying to figure out how to. I mean, if I show like a clip from Star Trek, will they actually like shut down my stream? Do you think? Yeah. Okay. I mean, will that? I mean, can you see all of the screen? I can't see the chat or anything right now. Right, all of this, amazing, really cool, really enjoyed this. Even like the dust that comes out of the gap and everything. And that's where the stabilizers get damaged. Secondary stabilizers don't work. They're not. You can actually still use thrusters. See, oh my god! I know how to. I know. I know how all this works. It's a really cool scene. I love it. In which case, he should turn his chair should turn around. That is good. They keep people in the middle of rooms. And I do have like all of this. This was done mostly with practical effects. Well, they took out the camera. Like their view screen is connected to a little camera that's on the front of the ship. I kind of only want to see the end part of this clip. That's the problem with this. God, they really ramped up the tension, didn't they? Again, this ship is designed to do this. Like, it's actually designed to do this. I'm guessing the inertial dampener system and stuff like that is meant to like help, but they lost stabilizers, and I'm guessing that the gravity systems, the gravity plating and shit, was also offline. But yeah, okay. So I just want this clip. So we've got like later on. I'm going to show this clip. We've got like I don't know if you can see my mouse, but you've got the bridge module. You've got like the source section and stuff like that. So yeah, so they're all in this little dome bit here, which is hilarious to me. But this thing at the back, that's important. Just wondering if anybody's going to figure this out the way I did. This thing at the back is important. Anyway, so let me just see if anybody got that. Is this from a movie? It's the next. It's Star Trek Generations. It's from Star Trek Generations. Okay, so like this is the horrific clip and stuff. So they're trapped on this planet. They have no escape. This giant shockwave is about to hit this planet, and it kills them all. We see them. But the shockwave is devastating the planet behind them. We see them on the actual hull of the ship. We see them running. So yeah, that's from Generations. So yeah, the problem I only just figured out. I like this. It's so this movie's so old now, but the thing I figured out is that because I know the specifications of the ship and everything, they have escape pods. They have escape pods. Not only do they have escape pods, but they also have lifeboats. They have lifeboats and shuttlecraft, and they have a ton of them, enough to get everybody off of that ship. And the best part about all of this is those things have warp drive. They have their own warp drive. They have their own warp engines. Because that thing that I was pointing out, yeah, that's the primary shuttle bay doors. It's like maybe that's where everybody was going to. Everybody that managed to get outside of the ship, maybe that's where they were all going to. But even then, it's like you would have done this super quickly, super efficiently, at least got somebody off of that ship. But the doors were closed. We saw the doors closed when we had that shot. It's like I watched this and I thought, well, the bad feeling that I have is because I'm really good at empathizing and imagining what it would be like to be on a planet that is being destroyed by a shockwave. Like that's what I'm feeling. That's the bad feeling that I'm feeling. But like the other day, again, when I replayed this clip in my head, I was like, wait, the doors were closed. Why were the doors closed? I mean, surely they would have been open, and if they can't open them, they would have been blasted open. Like they have an emergency explosive on them, like attached to the sides of the doors to blow them out for emergencies. Therefore, there's like it's got a failsafe. And even you can argue that, well, the crash, it like damaged all the ships inside. It's like, really? All the ships? It's a giant shuttle bay. It's huge. It's like designed to withstand an impact of a crashing shuttle inside of it. It not only that, is it's in the middle of the whole ship. It's in the middle and mostly on top of the whole saucer. The inside of that is gigantic. Like the actual shuttle bay complex is huge. Those are just the doors. They go into the ship, and then like there's a whole, like I said, a whole complex inside that ship. Have you ever wondered why there's no windows on like a dome before you get to the very top, where you get like the actual like the bridge module? It's because that's a whole shuttle bay. It's huge. There are like possibly hundreds, but probably not. There's probably a little bit less than that. There's at least 20 big shuttles. There's 2 personnel carriers, i.e., like lifeboats. There's huge. It's basically got 2 little ships inside of it at all times, exactly for situations like this. Because you have to have tertiary escape routes for the 1,000 people that are on this ship. You know, primary escape method is the escape pods. Secondary escape method is basically the transporters. Like they actually have a room on every deck, like at least one room on every deck that is about the same size of like your average kitchen in America, and it's just nothing but transporter pads, and it's designed so that it's an emergency beam out location. You go there, and it's got its own power source to transport you off the ship. Like, you know, it's not used because normally there's no space, there's nothing but space around you. So primary method, escape pods. Secondary method, if you're over a planet, then the emergency transport system. Tertiary method, lifeboats. You get to the nearest shuttle bay and you fuck off. There's two shuttle bays that were on the other section of the ship that blew up, but the saucer section has a huge shuttle bay for this almost this exact reason. And again, the escape pods, like the ones that are facing above the ship, they are designed to actually reach orbit. You can actually use them. They've got big ass thrusters on them. They can actually get to orbit. They then link up with each other, and then you use one of the lifeboats to actually kind of like warp them out of there. You can actually take them with you. You can connect them to the lifeboat, the actual lifeboat personnel carriers that are in the shuttle bay. Once you do that, they can warp. Again, I've got the schematics for these things. I know exactly how they work. I never figured this out until like a couple of days ago. I can't believe this. Again, I always thought this annoying feeling I was having whenever I watch this movie or whenever I play that clip in my head was like, Yeah, because I'm feeling bad about all the people that died in that shockwave. The fuck movie? You're gonna have to traumatize me, Jesus. Like, yeah, I'm guessing from the point in which, like, in the movies, like, thing, it's like a couple of hours. It feels like a couple of hours, but I mean, it could be as little as like 20 minutes. It doesn't matter. Like the main personnel, the main people on the Enterprise, everybody on the bridge, basically understands what's like at stake here. They would have understood to try to get off the planet as quickly as possible. They would have sent people to the shuttle bay to actually, like, at least open the doors. If failing that, immediately blow the doors. If failing that, then use one of the shuttle's weapons to basically, like, blow the doors. you know, it's like the ship is totaled. You could blow a hole in the wall and basically get out. There was so many other escape routes that you could have taken. Got people into escape pods even, and then blasted them into orbit. Something, but no. We basically cut to the ship. It's like there's people on this on the hull. There's probably people on the ground as well. It's like none of the escape pod hatches are open. None of the doors are open. It's fucked. Like, it's a complete failing from everybody there. It's just, yeah, uncool. It wound me up a little bit because I found something wrong. I found something wrong with one of my favorite Star Trek movies. Oh, one of the movies in which I was actually like, I always really enjoyed the mechanics of how everything worked. It's like, oh my god, bummer. I'm okay with like one mistake, one or two mistakes, only one or two in my movies. In my Star Trek movies, I'm okay with one or two mistakes. But this is a biggie. There's a lot of little mistakes that are connected to this one big mistake, and it winds me up so much. Because there's no excuse. There's so many systems. There's so many, there's so much in place to prevent everybody on board from dying. But yeah, I'm trying to think of First Contact now, because on like in First Contact, I'm trying to remember what the big boo boo is there. There's like one mistake that I'm okay with. Okay, there's a couple of mistakes that I'm okay with. The fact that the Phoenix is so close to everybody that's watching it launch is crazy to me. Shrek and the crew? What are you talking about? Yeah, the fact that the Phoenix is so close that to all those people, it's like it would have killed them. Like its launch would have killed everybody like around it. It's just, yeah. The other thing that's wrong with it, that's wrong with that movie. The other thing that's wrong with that movie is the deflector dish. It's charged with anti-protons. If you hit that, you'll destroy the half of the ship. No, no, no. No. Like, it would damage the deflector. It would damage the deflector dish. Like the worst case scenario, it would send a anti-proton charge into the ship and damage the deflector assembly. I mean, that's it. That's it. It could blow up part of that, but yeah, you know, it's like no, it wouldn't blow up half. It wouldn't blow up half the ship. It's it's silly. That was just dumb. But that's just a line, you know. There are other reasons why you shouldn't do it. I mean, it would have killed everybody there. So yeah, that is a bad idea. But it's like, yeah, what he said was dumb. But again, I can excuse that because he's just a captain. He doesn't know how any of this shit works. So yeah. Ooh, do you know what I discovered the other day as well? I'm jumping around on Star Trek, but like, I couldn't find a blue shirt. I, I couldn't find a blue uniform on Voyager. I was at my mother's place and I was watching Voyager, and I was like, "Where's the science officer?" We got red, we got gold, we got red, we got red, we got gold, we got red. Where's the science officer? Where are the science officers? Officers. This pissed me off. It didn't really piss me off. It was annoying because once I noticed it, I was like, it was annoying. I was like, where's the blue? Where's the blue? On my favorite sciencey ship, where are the blues? I actually said this to mom, and she was like, "Well, there's the doctor," and I was like, "Well, that's aqua. That's different. That's a dark aqua color. You know, that's a greeny blue. It's not really. It's not really. It's not science. It's medical." But even if you count the doctor, who else? Every now and again, you see Ensign Wildman. There's entire seasons where you don't see her though. So I mean, there's like an episode where they're being tortured. They're kind of like being experimented on by metaphasic, metaphasic, not metaphasic, interphasic aliens that are doing unethical medical experiments on them. And one of the people on the ship dies, and she's wearing a blue shirt. She's wearing blue. She's wearing blue. She's science. They do appear every now and again, but it's like the most sciencey show, most sciencey Star Trek show. Hardly any blue, any science. Do the ship have force field? Are you fucking kidding? Are you just asking random questions? The only Star Trek series that doesn't have force fields. I have to do that, by the way, because they technically do, but they haven't invented it yet. They keep saying they haven't invented force fields yet, or shields, or whatever. Is Enterprise. Even though they have a deflector dish, which, granted, isn't what makes the shields work, but it does project a field into space that forces objects out of the way. They also don't have tractor beams. The deflector is basically a giant tractor. Oh my god. It's a force field generator and a tractor beam. But whatever, it's fine. It's the one thing wrong with Enterprise, although there's lots of things wrong with Enterprise. We could go on and on and on and on. But yeah. Ugh. What else can we talk about? What else can we talk about? I'm okay with sticking on the topic of Star Trek, but yeah, what else? One of the questions I ask people when they tell me that they like Star Trek is like, "What's your favorite ship? You know, what's your favorite ship class? Or what's your favorite ship?" You know, and I've got to say that the Intrepid is my favorite ship, and the Intrepid class is actually, it's not called the Intrepid, is it? It's the ship that's in that one Deep Space Nine episode that is basically an Intrepid class ship, but I think it's called something else. I don't know. I can't remember the name of my favorite ship, but all I remember is that it's my favorite because I don't really like Voyager so much. You know, like I like the Intrepid class ship, but Voyager herself is so broken that like she can't use all of her amenities, and I hate that. Like she can't use the aero shuttle. She can't saucer separate. She can't like even detach the bridge module. You know, it's like there's so many cool things that that ship can do that they barely ever show because they keep using the excuse that, well, it was damaged. Like, it's a long range science vessel. Long range. It's designed to basically be super tough and hardy. You know? She doesn't even use a backup warp core. She has a backup warp core. She has a spare warp reactor. She also has a spare deflector dish, and she's got so many redundancies. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I know it was actually budget issues. I know that. I just hate that. I hate that so much. They also don't show her flying in atmosphere a lot, and they should, because she can do that. You know, she was special because she can go into an atmosphere, she can land. And they do show her landing a couple of times, and I like that they show her landing a couple of times. I get that it's a big deal, but like they could have done it once per season, but they just don't do it once per season, and I don't know why. But yeah, it's like this was a huge deal, and then suddenly most ships can land and leave an atmosphere and stuff like that. It used to be incredibly difficult. This used to be a big plot point. You know, Galaxy classes cannot go into an atmosphere. If they do, they will probably break apart and like crash. You know, Constitution classes can't go into an atmosphere. If they do, they will break apart and crash. You know, this was a big deal in the original series, but Strange New Worlds has her flying in atmospheres like and hovering. They can't do that. I hate that so much. The the thing about starships hovering now, it pisses me off. That pisses me off. You know, bring her down into low orbit, and it's like that's in the atmosphere. That's not low orbit. That's in the atmosphere. She's hovering in the atmosphere. Fuck off. Can't do that. Do they not remember the original series where they accidentally like got the whole ship got teleported into an atmosphere of a planet, and we saw the really dodgy effect of like the really crappy model just going trying to get out of the atmosphere, and the strain that it was causing when they cut to inside the ship of like everybody kind of being flung around because it was a big deal that they were trying that this shouldn't happen, and the Enterprise was in actual peril. Did they not remember this? I swear this happened like twice in the original series. But you know, fuck it. Now they can just float. They can just float in an atmosphere. Just whatever. Fuck you, Strange New Worlds. I really like to use Strange New Worlds, but you do have a lot that's broken. Uncool. You know, I even get pissed off in Star Wars when they show um, Star Destroyers hovering. It's like, no. Nope. Is it Valor class? I can't remember. No. In Star Wars, Star Destroyers can't just hover and stay. They could probably do it for like 2 minutes, and then you'll start to see parts of the hull glowing red hot, and then metal will melt, and then the ship will fall over. Or blow up, you know. Basically, Star Destroyers have things called repulsor lifts. They can actually hover. They can actually hover. But the thing is that they can only do it for a certain amount of time, you know. And then they actually have to start trying to use thrusters and shit. But the repulsor lift is actually is meant to be a stabilizing thing. So yeah. The Galore class. I was close, wasn't I? Is that what I said? I think that's what I said. Looks like a space boat. It's just it's weird. They just wanted a weird shape for the sake of it. They wanted the Cardassian ships to be just like nothing we'd ever seen in Star Trek. And it's like, yeah, but okay. That looks stupid. Like they just are dumb. Also, they keep using terminology, um, like it's the same. You know, for example, on a lot of Klingon ships, well, a lot of Romulan designed Klingon ships, you basically don't have nacelles, and yet sometimes they will use dialogue like, it's like, you know, it's like damage report, our nacelles are down. And it's like our nacelles been hit, and it's like we don't have them. What are you talking about nacelles? We don't have nacelles. Fuck. That's because in some of these ships the warp reaction actually happens with the superheated plasma in the wings. They actually generate a warp field around the ship from the wings, like from the actual radiators in the wings. Like those are the warp coils. It's a completely different system than the nacelles that have the coils in them, the warp coils in them, which are basically just supercharged magnets, which bend space around the ship. It's up, yeah. But they actually do it with superheated plasma and a superconducting like metal crystal alloy. That's the thing. I mean, you do have Klingon ships that do actually have nacelles, but yeah, the problem is with the Cardassian ships is that they have warp coils that um, are kind of like bricks that are on the side of the ship instead. And again, you hear them sometimes say nacelles in the dialogue, in some of the dialogue, and it's wrong because they don't have nacelles. Whatever. They've also got pincers, and they are turned around. They were originally going to be like, facing one way, but they turned it around. It's kind of like how the Enterprise was actually like upside down originally. But yeah, I also like how somebody said to me that like, did you know the original Millennium Falcon was symmetrical? And I was like, no, it wasn't. Like, I've got a book that basically tells me the history of the design of the ships in Star Wars, and the Millennium Falcon was never symmetrical. It was intentionally built to be asymmetrical because they wanted it to have that kind of vibe to it, that kind of like the rogue, kind of like smuggler, yet industrial vibe to it. So they wanted like an offset bridge, an offset cockpit instead. So yeah, it was never going to be symmetrical. Granted, the only part of it that's not symmetrical is the cockpit, but yeah, yeah. But yeah. I still don't like the Steam Runner class. I'm sorry. I already told you about this. I don't like the Steam Runner class. I do like that it was one of the first ships to actually have a through and through shuttle bay. Like that's a good design. I do like that. It's kind of got like a carrier design. It's like a big space carrier, ship. It like shuttles can go in one way and come out the other. It's pretty cool. But apart from that, I just don't like the nacelles being a structural part of the ship. Like it uses the nacelles to support the main deflector, and the main deflector shouldn't be supported that way. So cool. So how many Star Trek series is it? You a diehard fan? Diehard? Not really, because they've kind of ruined a bunch of Star Trek. They kind of like screwed up a bunch of Star Trek. So, yeah. But if you really want me to count, I mean, going from like the time that they were released, I guess, you got the original series, you got the animated series, you got the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, um, Discovery. I really didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. Discovery. Was Strange New Worlds the one that was next? No, Lower Decks was next. Strange New Worlds. And I think that's it because Starfleet Academy's coming up. So there's going to be 10, I think. And I'm not really a diehard fan of Star Trek. Like, I would say that my favorite sci-fi series is Stargate. I just like, um, I like how things work. You know, I like how machinery works. I like the theoretical engineering. I love that. I love that stuff. Star Trek is the one that does actually explain a bunch of how things work. They explain a bunch. Like all of their technical jargon is correct. Like all of their technical jargon up until Discovery is actually it actually makes sense. In Discovery, they didn't hire scientific advisors, and you can tell. You know, in Strange New Worlds, they also didn't really hire scientific advisors, but they did have people that actually like that they consulted with that the writers actually consulted with. So there's a difference there. They're getting better. They're learning. Okay, you know, it's like yeah. But yeah, you basically give me a sci-fi series or like a sci-fi movie or whatever, and I can tell you how things work in that ship or in that premise. I am a sci-fi engineer, which is really, really, really not really useful. Ow! I keep forgetting my wrist hurts. Anybody got any questions for me? Anybody got me like a ship or anything they want me to explain how it works or whatever? Because I could totally do this. You could totally test me. I did a spaceship random generator in my head just now, and it was like Firefly, Serenity. I was like, oh good. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you how that works? Because that one's really easy. Not really. Thanks, Don. So helpful. Do you want me to go away, Don? Am I boring and annoying? You can be honest. It's fine. Romulan ships are powered by artificial singularities. It's not really a black hole, but yeah. It's not really a black hole. It's like I said, it's an artificial singularity. Essentially, it's kind of like I'm trying to remember the exact way that they did this. They basically tried to fire a particle fountain at a neutron star, which collected enough neutron material to actually like be bombarded by certain types of radiation, which then created a singularity, but a small one, artificially. So it's an artificial singularity, and like they basically put these in their ships. And originally it was just a big box. I mean, it's very very simple to actually get energy from a black hole, but from a black hole. Damn it! I just did it again. From an artificial singularity. Um, but if you watch if you play Star Trek Online, you can actually go to engineering on a Romulan ship, and they've got this kind of like big big rotating like sphere things around what looks like a mini black hole, and that's it's awesome visually, but it's annoying conceptually. So yeah. But yeah, it's a thing. But yes, they use that instead of matter antimatter reactions, which is cool. It's cool that they use that because, like, technically, an antimatter reaction wouldn't produce enough energy to actually make a warp field possible. However, it is completely possible if you basically run the matter and antimatter stream through a conductive crystal structure. And I think they use dilithium in the warp reactor. Dilithium is a theoretical element that is a crystal that we find on Mars. We're supposed to found on Mars already. That we find on Mars that isn't like abundant on Earth. Earth is one of the only terrestrial planets in the galaxy that actually doesn't have not deuterium, dilithium at all. Like just as part of its makeup. It's weird, but we find it on Mars. We're supposed to find it on Mars. So yeah. Um. Anyway, yeah, singularities, artificial singularities. They they can produce enough energy to actually warp space because they naturally do that by themselves. But it's hard to actually channel that energy into uh, an actual warp reactor, warp field, you know? So, yeah. I should watch Wrath of Khan this weekend. Okay. It's a bit over. Wrath of Khan, I'm sorry, Star Trek fans, but Wrath of Khan is a little bit overrated. It's a good submarine story, you know? It's a good movie, but it's just that, like, yeah, okay. It just doesn't have a lot. You know, it just doesn't. It doesn't. It's like it's like yeah, it's space combat with two ships. It's kind of cool. You know that's kind of cool. But that's it. Genesis is dumb. Just gonna say, Genesis is weird. It's kind of it's an interesting concept, but it's kind of dumb. The whole concept is a little bit annoying. It's and kind of stupid. But then again, it is one of those things of like, I guess, I mean, there are in the future some scientists could probably figure out a way to have like a self-replicating field, you know. But yeah, it's just that missile, the energy, the Genesis device has to have so much energy in it, and I don't like that. So yeah. Um, Going on 10, but it would be cool to travel and live on a ship like that. Like what? That's kind of what I think. I would love to live on an Intrepid class starship. I just would. I just would love that. I wouldn't mind living in a Class 9 shuttle. I just, I a Type 9 shuttle. Sorry. I just want it. I want it so bad. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. These don't exist. I wouldn't mind one that's offline. I wouldn't mind one that just is inoperable. I just would love to be in one. I don't care. I want it. I want it so bad. It's so annoying that they don't exist. And probably won't exist, you know. So how do the Galaxy Mothership work? Galaxy Mothership? Specify? What's a Galaxy Mothership? Are you talking about Galaxy class ship? Like the one we saw? Also, specify what you want me to explain in them. You know? I've been on for like an hour and a half. I'm probably just gonna go. I'm probably just gonna go soon. So yeah. Actually, I haven't looked at the deck plans for a long time. I wonder if I could actually like present. Oh, I can. Sweet. Oh shit. Okay, I don't actually have the deck plans on my computer. I actually do have like the actual blueprints of like the deck the deck layouts of all of the entire Galaxy class ship, but they're just not on my computer. Maybe they didn't get backed up. I know I did have them on my computer for a long time. I do have the deck plans for a couple of ships on my computer, because I have the deck plans for an Oberth class. I don't think I have Voyagers. I don't think I have like an Intrepid class. But I do have like one or two sheets of an Intrepid class. Enterprise. I've got the NX class. I've got the full deck plans of Enterprise. But yeah. Galaxy class. What do you want explained? Oh, you can't actually see my mouse. That's a problem. I have a different kind of chamber for aliens. What the fuck are you talking about? Nearly every single one of the quarters can actually be programmed with like a different kind of atmosphere. You know, there are like corrosive atmospheres though, which they can't replicate. However, they can be retrofitted to do that. Also, the med bay has got individual isolation chambers that actually can, like, they're basically really mini quarters. So yeah, the shuttle base can also be retrofitted into like containment chambers for aliens. Considering that the Federation is comprised of so many different species that like everybody's an alien. But yeah, what do you want to know? I said deck plans, Panda Frogs. Deck plans. Like individual cross sections of the ship. Like, yeah. This is an engineering LCAST layout, which is like this is a side cross section of the ship. I've got nearly every single one of the Star Trek ships. Basically, I've got an LCAST engineering cross section. But yeah. I don't know if you could see this, but right underneath the bridge there is the shuttle bay. But like I said, the shuttle bay it's huge. It's everywhere. It's like it's like 4 decks tall. It's huge. It's massive. But there are other shuttle bays as well. But yeah, this is the workings. I can't remember how many quarters. Isn't it like 400 or something on a Galaxy class ship? So technically, it can have 400 different ones. Ugh. Oh, I must be thinking about the redesign of the Steam Runner. I know that it basically was what it was like the first ship that actually had a shuttle bay that went right through it. You know, there's also like I think there's like an Akira class that also does that. But yeah. Do you want to see my baby? I have no idea why I said that, considering that I'm going to show it anyway. Because it's my favorite. Just that which picture to pick. God. Oh, that's funny. I've got a Nova class on here as well. Oh, cool. Wait. I knew it. Okay, so if you look here, this is a deck plan. These are deck plans. This is showing deck 5, 7, and 8 of a Steam Runner class. So you can see here, this is the shuttle bay. I think this is it's a shuttle bay. There's even enough room in here for a Danube. I can never remember the pronunciation for it, but basically a flyer. What do they use on Deep Space Nine? God damn it! Runabout. But yeah, you can even see it in the shuttle bay. But yeah, as you can see, the shell bay extends all the way to the back, where you can actually get out of the ship through the rear. Thank you. Yeah, you can actually get out through the rear as well. So, like, this is a deck plan of that system. Yeah, you can even see like the quarters and the escape pods on the outside of the ship, just around the outside of the saucer section. So yeah, but here that's a deck plan. That is what a deck plan is. It's like the actual layout of things. So yeah. That was not what I was looking for, but I knew it. You know, it has a through and through, almost a complete through and through shell bay. Gotta find my baby. My baby. Oh my god. Oh, I do want to show that. Oh, but I don't know. Oh, I've got K7 on here as well. That's cool. I forgot that I had K7 on. I've also got cross sections of a star base. So not space dock, but a star base. It's basically space dock, but it's a star base. You know what I mean? Got a bunch of reference pictures. You know, not like schematics or diagrams or anything, but just random reference pictures. Oh hell, I'll just use that one. But yeah, that's my baby. Well, not that one particular, but yeah. That's one of the diagrams I've got. I've got like 7 different diagrams of an Intrepid class, because like they are so good. But yep, like this diagram shows not only the warp core, but also the secondary warp core, the secondary deflector, the aero shuttle, as well as the separation plane, the actual part where the ship can separate into 2 different ships. Although when Intrepid class ships separate, they do lose part of their paneling, which means that when they reattach themselves, it doesn't look as pretty, because they have to actually get that plating back. It flies off into space, and they basically, yeah, it's not a regular thing to do, but you don't really need it to separate that much, because it's so neat. Also, the like the neck, like you can see the big separation plane that runs through the ship, and this thing means that its spine, that Voyager's, the Intrepid class's spine that runs down the back, that becomes kind of like a head of the ship for its engineering section. Which is cool because that's where the battle bridge is anyway. So yeah, that's where it's. Well, they don't call it a battle bridge; it's a secondary control center. So yeah. Also, if something does happen to the saucer section, because it's not really a saucer, you can actually like detach the bridge module and actually slot it into like part of the secondary hull. So yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool. But again, we don't see any of this because it would have been like too crazy to, and it would make the ship look too ugly if you basically had to separate the saucer and then reattach it, but then not be able to attach all of that plating on the outside, you know? So yeah. Still looks cool. In my opinion, it would still look cool. But, you know, I can see how they would have thought it might look ugly. But yeah. The redundancies on this thing are incredible. It even has a secondary mess hall. Like, you know that, you know when they whenever you see them sitting down and eating, like there's another one of those, and it's also kind of theorized that sometimes that's where they are. Like whenever they show somebody eating in the mess hall, it's like sometimes they could be not in the main one that you always think that you see. It's actually the one on the back of the ship. There was an identical mess hall, also an observation lounge, or whatever you want to call it, but it's identical to the main mess hall, and it's on the back of the ship, just underneath the shuttle bay ramp. Like there's windows. If you look on the back of the ship, there's windows there. That's the other one. So yeah. It's also, if you look at it, it's really, really tiny. Like that, they are a deck plate away from nothing. It's crazy. But yeah. She's so pretty. Right, anybody got anything they want to ask me or say to me before I go? I've been here for 2 hours now, so like I think I'm gonna head off. I keep thinking it's flashing. It looks like it's gone darker. Like seriously, I can't find a fault in any of that. Like any of that ship. It's just It's annoyingly perfect. You know, I want to bitch and moan about something. I can't though. She's too good. Somebody did like, well, when the very first time I saw it, and somebody pointed out to me, it's like, well, why don't the cells just continuously be bent upwards all the time, if that's how like they fix the damaging like subspace problem. She's got a variable geometry warp field and stuff like that. And if that's how they basically get around that, then why aren't they just up all the time? And the reason why her nacelles move, excuse me, move is because it's for greater stability in flight, especially if she's in an atmosphere. Also, you need to be able to change the control of the actual field geometry without necessarily pumping a bunch of uh, energy into the main deflector, because the main deflector can actually help with actually like moving the warp, changing the shape of the warp field that's around the ship. That's the job of the main deflector, the big bluey thing in the middle of the ship. Like that's the main deflector. And if you pump too much energy into that while you're at warp, then it can actually damage space more than it can actually like protect the ship. Also, it can overheat, and that's a whole big deal. That's a whole big problem in itself. If you change the actual geometry of the warp field mid-flight, then all you've got to do is basically move the nacelle up or down a little bit, just a little bit, just like hardly perceptible even, and you will have zero subspace turbulence. And I believe in all of the show, all of Voyager, the ship itself never experiences any subspace turbulence. Like, I'm pretty sure even the Enterprise D experienced subspace turbulence at some stage. The ship shook or something because, like, they went through a bit of choppy subspace. Like, this has happened. I swear I remember it. I can't remember where, but I remember it happening. But yeah, like, the Intrepid class doesn't experience subspace turbulence because it can't. It's got its own stabilizing system. So yeah, it's really cool. Plus, when it's in atmosphere, like the nacelles need to be down. They just need to be down. It helps with the actual shape of the ship. Like, she's actually aerodynamic enough to fly into an atmosphere and actually fly around in it perfectly fine. But if you up her nacelles, then like she loses a little bit of lift. Anyway, yeah. If you look on the underside of the saucer section, the primary hull, by the way, you can actually see the aero shuttle, the little ship that comes out of the bottom and just can fly away. We never got to see her on screen. So uncool. Ooh! Just remembered, I've actually got a picture of that. I'll show you the picture and then I'll get ready to go. I'm sorry. Oh, that's a neutron star. Yeah, this is what the Aero shuttle looks like. This is that little ship that's on the bottom. That's what it looks like. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't you want to see that? Ugh. I mean, it is basically a runabout that's got like bigger wings and is just more awesome. But it's so cool. But yeah, if you look at the bottom of that, I really wish you could see my mouse. Is there a way of doing that? No. It's a teeny weeny. I was wondering, can I actually get more than one picture on screen? Oh, I can't. Damn it. I was like hoping I could actually like have a little pointer or something on the screen, because there are buttons. I haven't explored all of the new features, but a lot of them are paywalled. Yeah, I can't add another picture, but yeah, I can make it bigger. Yeah, it's so cool, super badass and cool. It's a very dark picture, but it's like it's the best one I got. They actually did make a visual effect test of it actually coming out of the bottom of the ship and then flying away, and even did like a camera test for the inside of a runabout, but as if it was detaching from Voyager and stuff. But they never actually used it because they just assumed that, well, they just kept making it broken down or like it's offline or something. They just never addressed it at all, and it's really annoying because they built a whole fucking shuttle, a whole different ship to deal with. They built the Delta Flyer, and they didn't need to because this thing is right fucking there. Anyway, I'm just gonna quickly see if I've got another picture. Then I'm gonna go. I swear to God, I'm gonna go. I don't think I do. I think I have. I think that's the best one I got. Got lots of Stargate stuff. What the fuck's that? Oh, okay. It's a shuttle from a Firefly class. That's a what the? Oh, I was gonna say there's a ZPM here. That is not supposed to be in this folder, but I'm not going to fix it right now because I've got things I want to look at or I want to show you guys. Yeah. Instructions on 3D printing an Oberth class. I don't know why I saved that. I think I was going to give that to my buddy Dave and then have him make one. Yeah, I can't find it. I cannot find it. I thought I had a better picture, like, of the Aero Shuttle, just a brighter version of that picture, basically. But no. Complete 3D picture of whatever. Oh my god, I'm trying to find something specific. Something else specific. Something else specific. Son of a bitch. No. The fuck is that? Oh my god, that's the deck layout of Firefly. It didn't have any information around it, so I was confused for a second. I was like, is that like the moon vehicle from like 2001 or something? Yeah. So it really stumped me for a sec. I didn't know what I was looking at. Also, my eyes are doing the blurry thing again because I haven't been wearing my glasses because they're not in my office. I'm stupid. Oh, I was trying to find. That's the thing I was trying to find. I was actually trying to find a Class 9 shuttle to show you guys because, like, that's the compromise I would have. I wouldn't mind if, even though I know I can't get an Intrepid class starship, I would love even just a mock-up of a Class 9 shuttle. Like, that's one of the me projects that I would totally do in my retirement. You know, I would totally get, like, I don't know, like a really big car or something, and then just build a Class 9 shuttle around it. It wouldn't be road legal because it wouldn't have seatbelts and stuff, but yeah. But yeah, I cannot find it in my reference pictures anyway. My reference file folder of it. Oh, is that the Type 9 shuttle? I got one diagram of one, but yeah. whatever. I've got the LCAST sheet of it. I know that doesn't really help you like get a visual on what it actually looks like, but like that's a type. That's a type 9. It's a shuttle that was specifically only seen on Voyager, and it's very clearly a product of Voyager. It's like Voyager's babies, just because it's impulse engines, and it's even got like a mini deflector dish, like that's visible and stuff. Because a lot of shuttles that can go into warp, they have deflector dishes, but you don't actually see them because they're like hidden behind a panel or whatever. But Voyager's one is visible on the outside, and it's really cool. But yeah, trust me, it looks way better if I can find a picture of it, but I can't. So yeah, I'll totally have this shuttle instead. Right. Okay. Now I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be back. I still haven't got into the swing of things. I still haven't got my office like all fully set up here on and stuff. I have legitimate reasons. It's not because I'm depressed or lazy or anything. It's actually because it's been raining in the daytime. It's not raining at night, like tiny sprinkles every now and again at night, but in the daytime, it's raining. So haven't got my office fully functional yet. But the reason why I can't do anything, to get the computer in here, the backup computer, and also like my sketch pads and my workbooks and stuff, I can't bring those in here when it's raining because it's raining. Like those things aren't waterproof. I guess I can put them in plastic bags, but at night it's fine. But I can't really draw in here at night because I have very limited lighting at the moment, and yeah, I have to do that in the day. But yeah, I do have to get my finger up my butt at some point soonish because I do actually have a couple of drawing jobs to do. They're for family though that aren't paying, so whatever. Except for my buddy on Groma that I need to eventually I need to go back on Groma as well. So yeah. But yeah. Oh, my butt's falling asleep. I hate that. Bad lighting, belly rubs, and belly salute. And yeah, I'll be back in this YouTube. I really hate that I'm missing my season. October's my busiest season normally. October's my busiest because you got like October, you've got like the Halloween video, the pumpkin carving, the pumpkin video, like all of that stuff, and I just seem to have missed it this year. But then again, like nobody really complained when I didn't do Oktoberfest or like any of that stuff. So whatever. Yeah. Bye.